It started like any ordinary day in a quiet, wooded town just outside the city limits. Birds chirped, morning dew sparkled on grass blades, and the old metal wind chime by the porch door gave a lazy clink with the breeze. But in that peace lived a dog named Ranger, and his story would shake the skies. Ranger wasn't just any dog. He was a rescued mutt, part German shepherd, part who knows what, with amber eyes full of loyalty and fire. The kind of dog who'd wake you from a nightmare just to nudge you toward peace. His best friend, 12-year-old Lily, called him her brother with 4 legs. That morning, Lily's laughter echoed from the backyard as Ranger bounded through the tall grass, chasing dragonflies. Her father, Tom, sipped his coffee from the deck, smiling at the sight. None of them knew that high above, just beyond human detection, a presence was watching, calculating. The ship was silent, cloaked. It hovered in place like a ghost, observing Earth's creatures not for beauty, but for usefulness. The alien scouts on board weren't explorers. They were harvesters. And today they had noticed Ranger. Lily bent to hug her furry friend, brushing his ear as she whispered, "You're my hero, Ranger. Don't ever leave me." Ranger licked her cheek with a huff, his tail wagging hard enough to stir dust. Then the wind shifted. Ranger's ears perked. His body froze. A low hum rippled through the air, too low for Lily to hear, but not for Ranger. He growled. Before Lily could turn, the sky shimmered like rippling water. A blinding column of blue light shot down. Tom dropped his mug. Lily screamed. And in a burst of heat and silence, Ranger vanished. Gone. The grass where he had stood still trembled. Lily ran to the spot, falling to her knees. "Ranger? Ranger!" she sobbed, clawing the earth. Tom grabbed her, his hands trembling. "What was that? Where's the dog?" But up in the craft, miles above, Ranger had landed in a cold metal chamber. He stood, teeth bared, hackles up, confused but not afraid. Around him stood beings he had never seen, tall, limbless things with shifting skin and glowing eyes. They didn't speak. They scanned. "This one has potential," one of them finally said in a voice not made from a mouth but from thought. "Strong nervous system. Combat instincts. Begin the conditioning." They expected submission. Sedation. Fear. But Ranger launched. With a snarl that startled even the ship's walls, he leapt at the nearest alien. His teeth clamped onto the creature's smooth arm, drawing silver-blue blood. Alarm sounded. The lights turned red. The alien stumbled, surprised. This Earth creature was supposed to obey. He didn't. Back on Earth, Tom was talking to the police, who didn't believe a word. Lily sat silently in the living room, still clutching Ranger's collar, now warm with her tears. But inside the alien ship, chaos bloomed. Ranger darted through corridors, teeth bloodied, growling like thunder in the sterile silence of space. Automated arms reached for him. He dodged. Electric nets were deployed. He slipped through. He was injured, bleeding. But he didn't stop. He couldn't. Because somewhere, a little girl was crying his name. "Why won't the tranquilizer work?" one alien asked. "Its brain waves are erratic, emotionally bonded. Primitive but powerful." Another answered. "We underestimated its attachment." Suddenly, Ranger turned a corner and stopped. Before him was a holding cell. Inside it, dozens of other animals, wolves, panthers, even other dogs. Some were unconscious. Others cowered in fear. Ranger growled low. He stepped closer to the console near the door, his body trembling. Somehow, he sensed it. This panel could free them. Behind him, stomping footsteps. The aliens had caught up. Ranger had a choice. Run for survival, or fight for others. He chose. With a roar, he lunged at the console, paws slamming buttons randomly. Sparks flew. Lights flickered. The cell door burst open, and the room erupted. Animals poured out, teeth bared, claws slashing. Screams, inhuman ones, echoed through the ship. Ranger was in the center of it all, a bloodied, defiant commander of Earth's forgotten creatures. Back in her room, Lily whispered into the night, "Come home, Ranger, please." And somewhere, far above the clouds, her voice seemed to reach him. His ears perked. He paused. Then, blood dripping from his muzzle, he growled and turned toward the ship's core. He wasn't just escaping. He was going to end this. End of part 1. The ship's alarms wailed like haunted sirens, echoing through steel corridors warped by fire and fury. Ranger, wounded and heaving, ran alongside the pack he had freed. His side bled, his legs burned, but his resolve had only hardened. Somewhere in the ship's core was the control, something that could either destroy the vessel or guide it home. He didn't know how he knew. He just did. The alien overseers had never seen such resistance. Earth's species had been catalogued, dissected, and subdued. But they had never encountered loyalty this raw, this dangerous. It made them afraid. Seal all sectors. Deploy intercept units. Do not let the Earth creature reach the command matrix. But Ranger had already found another passage. Narrow, dark, barely wide enough for his injured frame. He ducked inside, limping. Behind him, screams and howls told him the others were still fighting. Every footstep was agony, but he pressed on. Then he stopped. In the center of the chamber stood a giant tank. Suspended within was a creature. Canine in shape, massive in size, eyes closed in what looked like peaceful slumber. Its fur shimmered faintly, even through the greenish liquid. Ranger stepped closer. The control panel beside it lit up, reacting to his presence. A message appeared, projected in symbols he didn't understand. Yet somehow he felt its meaning. Prototype Alpha, domesticated guardian, rejected due to emotional instability. He growled. Instability? No, that was love. With one final, painful leap, he smashed his paw against the console. Sparks erupted. Fluid drained. The tank began to open. As the creature stirred, the ship shook violently. Doors hissed open. Alien guards flooded the chamber, weapons raised. Do not release it. But it was too late. The great beast stepped free, towering over them all. It looked at Ranger, and bowed its head. They moved as one. What followed was a blur of chaos. Ranger leaping over energy blasts, the massive guardian crushing metal under paw. Alien forces screamed in confusion as the very ship they had mastered turned into a cage of war. Meanwhile, on Earth, Lily had stopped speaking. Days had passed. The world had labeled the event a freak lightning strike. A hallucination. Even Tom, heartbroken, had begun to accept that Ranger was never coming back. But Lily didn't. Each night, she stared at the stars, whispering the same words. Find your way home. Please. And far above, in the ship's battered core, Ranger stood before the main command interface, his last chance. He stepped forward, ears flicked back, tail low. The interface glowed. Voice authorization required, said a cold, synthetic hum. Ranger barked. The system paused, then flickered. And a voice, Lily's voice, recorded from their time together, played through the interface. Good boy, Ranger. Let's go home. The ship groaned. Systems rewired. Escape pods unlocked. Ranger's eyes widened. Target has activated homing protocol. Initiate failsafe. Overload the core. The aliens screamed in panic. Ranger turned, teeth bared. But the Guardian stepped in front of him. It looked back once, then charged into the central energy column. A blinding light engulfed the room. When Ranger opened his eyes again, he was in an escape pod, earthbound. His body was burned, bruised, but alive. He looked out the tiny window as the alien ship imploded above Earth's atmosphere, scattering like dust across the stars. Then darkness. He awoke on Earth. Rain. Mud. Sirens. He heard voices, then a scream. Ranger. Oh my God. Dad. It's him. Lily. Her arms were around him before he could lift his head. She sobbed into his fur, holding him like a lifeline. Tom dropped to his knees, stunned. I don't believe it. He's alive. He really made it back. Ranger, barely able to move, pressed his nose to Lily's cheek. His tail thumped once. But the sky wasn't quiet. A faint light shimmered above, like a crack that hadn't fully closed. And deep in the wreckage of the alien ship, something still moved. End of part 2. Weeks passed, and Ranger lay resting under warm blankets by the fireplace, a bandage still wrapped around his midsection. The town had buzzed with rumors of his return, but only Tom and Lily knew the truth, and they didn't need the world to believe them. Ranger was home. That was enough. But the skies hadn't forgotten. The shimmer that had once crackled above the forest had vanished. The last of the alien debris had been quietly removed by military teams who never spoke a word. Officially, it was called a weather anomaly. Unofficially, some officers saluted the sky each time they walked the crash site. Ranger, though scarred, had changed. He no longer barked at passing cars or chased squirrels. He had seen too much, fought too hard. But in Lily's arms, he was still the same loyal soul who once raced through fields to catch dragonflies. One evening, as twilight painted the trees gold, Lily sat on the porch with Ranger curled beside her. She looked up at the stars, quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Do you think they'll come back?" Tom stepped outside, his eyes tired but warm. Maybe, he replied. But this time, we'll be ready. Ranger lifted his head. A soft breeze danced through the trees. No warning alarms. No strange lights. Just the sound of wind and safety. Suddenly, from the woods, the faint snap of a twig. Ranger's ears perked. Out stepped a man, weathered, in torn gray clothing that shimmered oddly in the light. In his hand, he held something glowing. Tom moved protectively in front of Lily, but the man raised his free hand slowly. Peace. I owe your dog my life. Tom blinked. You were on the ship? The man nodded. I was taken years ago. He freed more than just animals. He gave us a chance. From his coat, he pulled a small, metallic disc. He knelt beside Ranger and placed it gently near his paw. This contains everything. Their tech, their weaknesses, and their fear. Of loyalty. Of love. Of him. Then he stood. I'll be going now. You won't see me again. But thank your dog. He didn't just save you. He saved all of us. He disappeared into the trees as quietly as he came. Ranger nudged the disc toward Tom. Lily looked at her dog, then hugged him tightly. You're more than just a good boy. You're a hero. Ranger licked her face, his tail thumping twice. The disc was given to trusted scientists. What they uncovered would take years to understand, but humanity had a chance now. Thanks to one defiant heart. The world moved on, unaware of the battle that had taken place beyond the stars. But in one little town, a girl and her dog knew better. And every time Lily looked up at the stars, she whispered, "Thank you. For coming back. For fighting. For choosing love over fear." Ranger would sit beside her, calm and quiet. The war was over, for now. He had given everything. But he had returned. Because when love is real, even the stars can't hold you back. Moral of the story asterisk. Sometimes, the most powerful force in the universe isn't strength or intelligence, it's loyalty. Love may seem fragile, but in the face of fear, it becomes unbreakable. One loyal heart can ignite hope, defeat darkness, and bring a lost soul back home. / End of story.